Welcome back to week 5 of my Metamorphosis Challenge, where I work to get back my health, both physical and mental, and my life after breast cancer. Let's quickly recap the rules of the game. There are 13 weeks in this challenge, and we are in week 5. I have daily challenges and weekly challenges. We'll review all of them in a moment. I also have challenge cards, self-care cards, and reward cards. I can pull up to 2 challenge cards per week. They give me an additional side quest that progresses things for me somehow. Self-care cards mitigate the challenge in some way, like giving me a rest day or having my step goal. And reward cards are exactly what you think they are. They give me a little treat for working so hard. I get 1 free self-care card at the beginning of each week, and I can either pull a self-care card or a reward card each time I complete a challenge. I can hold self-care cards that I've pulled in my hand for as long as I want and play them at any time. When I pull a challenge card, I have 7 days to complete it. I can also just veto it if it's not medically advisable at this time for one reason or another. So, what are the goals for this week? My daily goals, as ever, I have the 3 foundational habits: the morning routine, the self-care routine, and the first focus hour. These are designed to... Okay, let's try this again. I got too excited and spilled tea on myself and I had to change. Yes, daily goals. So for this week, my daily goals, of course, there are the 3 foundational routines: the morning routine, the self-care routine, and the first focus hour. These are designed to set me up for success, either for that day or for the long term. Here are all the steps of all 3 of them. I'm not going to go through every single one right now, but each step and the order they are done in have been carefully crafted over quite a long period of time to set things up for best possible success. Actually, quick aside here, I want to show you something. I get a lot of questions about these routines, especially like, how do I stick to something with so many steps? Many years back, I wrote myself a web app. It is called Sweet Goals. Why is it called Sweet Goals? Because it makes me think of sweet rolls, the Skyrim sweet rolls specifically, and I think that's very funny, so that is the name of the thing. It is just a to-do list app, but it's a very enthusiastic to-do list app, and it lets me create these timed sequences that show up on my to-do list every single day, and it displays this countdown on my screen. When I open my eyes in the morning, the first thing I do is start that morning routine timer. It takes me through every single step in the morning routine, one by one, with a timer showing how long I've spent on each task and how much longer I'm predicted to need to get it done. Usually I'm checking things off before the timer runs down for each one. I find that that timer really helps me to not dawdle or get distracted quite as much, because it is a lot of steps and it is a lot of time, and it is early in the morning when you're not necessarily thinking very well. I do not have ADHD myself, but I have refined it a bit in conjunction with some of my friends with ADHD who use the app, and they've told me that it's fairly helpful to them. This is not an advertisement. There's no way to pay me for it. There's no ads on the thing. There's no in-app purchases. It's just a free thing you can get on the website and register at any point. I don't benefit from it in any way. Please don't let me spill this on myself again. But if it helps you, you are very free to use it. Just cutting in here from the future to point out that the color theme that I'm using here is called Splendid Daisies, but there's actually several dozen color themes, as well as different fonts and what we call celebrations that you can either unlock or purchase from the shop. And by purchase, I mean you earn gold pieces as you check off tasks. No actual money required. So if you don't like these colors, don't worry, these aren't even the default colors, and there's tons of others. I'm pretty proud of how thoroughly customizable this thing is, actually. And it is cute. So there's that. Those are the daily routines. I am aiming for a 7:30 a.m. wake-up time. Not just a open my eyes, but a get out of bed and get started, not endlessly scrolling, not trapped by the dog, but 7:30 a.m. out of bed and doing stuff. This has been a huge struggle because the 2 months of bed rest that I had before starting this challenge completely destroyed my sleep schedule and all of my internal clocks. Every day, I am aiming for 2 20-minute stretches at least 2 hours apart. I am also doing my assigned physical therapy every day. I don't think my assigned physical therapy is correct, but it was assigned, so I am doing it. And then my dog Versailles, who is also a part of this challenge because she too has been impacted by her mommy having breast cancer, is going to be practicing the deny trick every day. In deny, she shakes her head no, so that she can tell you that she is a perfect angel and she is not responsible for any of the stolen shoes in the house. She's actually already a button dog with in excess of 40 words that she can speak fluently, but she's not always near her buttons, so I figure a little bit of gestural language will help her as well. That's it for the daily goals. Pretty straightforward. For the weekly goals, now normally I have blueberry picking in my summer weekly goals every single week, but I have been convinced for this week only to make it peach picking. Don't panic too much, okay? I can still get blueberries. For my outing, last week this video came up in my algorithm.
Do you live in Portland, Oregon? Do you want to make new friends? Well, I'm Sarah, I'm your depressed lesbian best friend, and I'm hosting an event called Making Crafts and Making Friends. We will be at Humdinger Pizza, which is out on Foster Boulevard, Foster Road. Oh, I should know that. It's in Lentz, the Lentz neighborhood. This is going to be on Wednesday, July 29th. It's going to be a drop-in anytime from 6 to 9 p.m. Bring your own craft with you. Grab a slice of pizza, grab a drink. All ages welcome. And you don't have to be queer to come, but it always helps. I'm going to be sitting at a table with a pink tablecloth. I also have pink hair. I should be easy to find. Come sit down. I'm going to have conversation starting cards out on the table. I hope to get people to mingle around. If you're shy, totally fine. Come talk to me. Come sit next to me. I got 2 spaces next to me. We'll rotate it all around. I really hope you guys can make it. I'm really excited. This is my first event that I am hosting that is not a trivia.
So that is our outing for this week, Queer Craft Night. For the exercise goals, 5 30-minute workouts, and 4 days on which I get 10,000 steps or more. You're all caught up. You know what the game is and how we're playing it. This week was really tough and felt incredibly long. Looking back on it right now from Sunday, it's hard for me to keep in mind that it all happened this week. It feels like it was scattered across 2 or possibly even 3 weeks. It wasn't just that there were so many different appointments that kind of cluttered up my schedule and kept me driving and driving and driving. It was emotionally rough too. I try to keep my chin up. I try to stay positive. I try to focus on what is in my control and do that. But there's so much that isn't in my control, and that includes just constant low grade pain from my left side, which has been through so much. Not just healing from the amputation, but the process of even preparing for reconstruction is very uncomfortable. Like, the best that I ever feel is really badly internally bruised. That's like the baseline best that I can hope for these days. That can be hard to stay positive through. When you're in pain, whether it's high key or low key, long enough, it just makes you sad. It makes you sad and a little bit angry and tired. Also, some stuff happened this week, which you'll see, they're supposed to be like good milestones of progression, but they also really bring home that, like, there's a major ceiling to how well reconstruction can ever go. I can probably be reconstructed to a point where you just won't know so long as I am clothed. But every time I take off my clothing to take a shower and see myself in the mirror, how do I put this? I don't hate the way my body looks. Like, clearly there are scars. It has been altered. Like, I see it and I think, oh, that's a survivor. I don't hate it. It's also this huge shock and identity shift. I'm just different, and I'm having to get used to that. I'm having to integrate that into my psyche. All of these changes happened so suddenly, and they're permanent. I can do more changes. I can make some affirmative decisions about how I'd like to look going forward, but I can never go back. How it was before is not an option. That might be okay, but it's heavy. And I'm sad and angry and tired about that too. I've been motoring through the week. I still hit most of the goals, but it's just felt harder. The psychological game has definitely been harder. I think, honestly, one of the ways it's like been sneaking out is that I cannot stop spilling stuff on myself. It's just the clumsiness of exhaustion and distraction. I can't tell you how many tops I have changed this week, and I can't tell you how many stained tops I have just continued to wear because I got tired of changing. So yeah, there were some struggle themes this week, but there were also some major milestones toward recovery. So now that you know what you're in for, let's start week 5. It's Monday and I am tired. I stayed up a little bit too late editing last week's video to make sure that it would be ready for release this morning. Even so, I managed to be out of bed by 7:40 a.m. I'm going to give myself partial credit for that one. Knocked out the morning routine and got right on the first of my 5 workouts. This was a full body workout with weights. Even working with less weight than I used to, it feels incredible to be able to move my body like this. For my stretch, I did a yoga sequence by Live in Leggings. She's one of my favorite yoga instructors on YouTube. It wasn't just a good stretch, it was a very sweaty stretch. She even had me try crow pose, which I am not up to at the moment, but I gave it a go, dropped myself on the ground, no problem. It was still cool to be able to try. And then, of course, we did the dinky physical therapy exercises. After all that, I was more than ready to get into my self-care routine and have a shower. This is my post-shower fit check. I was super excited when I found this in the basement a few weeks back and was able to put it back into rotation. Today's focus hour was a big deal because it was not a focus hour. It turned into 4 hours. As I've been saying for the past several days, I am so close to being done with my current project and being able to move on to the next one. And I just really stuck in and did a polish pass on my code. I think after all this, I'll be able to deploy it in my focus hour tomorrow. It's always so fun to ship code and let people see what I've been working on. After all that, honestly, I am feeling pretty spent. I am looking forward to an early bedtime tonight. I still have to do the challenge training with Versailles tonight, and there is the evening stretch, but that feels very attainable. And in the meanwhile, there's two things we're going to do. First, it's the start of a new week, which means we get to pull a self-care card from the deck. I got the card Nevermind, which has the power to allow me to cancel something. Given how many appointments I have this week and how much other stuff I'm trying to cram around them, this may come in real handy. Adding that to my hand, and while we're pulling cards, I'm going to try a challenge card tonight. Challenge card! What did I get? It's upside down. The challenge I got is mindfulness, 10 minutes of meditation. Meditation is not really my forte. I'm more of a Kim does it kind of person, not a Kim sits about it. Sitting and trying to empty the mind, tough. We're gonna do it. I struggled my way through this. I really kept catching myself trying to turn it into 10 minutes of stretching, or 10 minutes of reviewing code problems in my head, or 10 minutes of just reviewing my to-do list. But finally, the timer went off. Mindfulness down. I'm going to pull something from the reward deck. Okay, I got Book It, which allows me to get a new journal, book, or piece of stationery that I want. I don't actually have anything in mind for this right now. When I was doing those 2 months of bed rest, I actually purchased quite a few Kindle books that I'm still making my way through. I'm not really sure what to do with it right now. I'm just going to keep it in my hand until I find something to cash it in on. This right here, this is my first time being able to give this poor sweet angel uppies since the surgery. I actually ended up getting into a bit of a hyperfocus and staying up really late last night. But in a way, it's sort of neat to see that my brain is working enough again to hyperfocus on something. It did mean that I blew that 7:30 a.m. wake up time, and then I had to rush through the morning routine, the training with the dog. Oh, yes. Break? Yes. All done. All that good stuff, and I didn't have time even for a stretch after that. I just tossed myself through the shower and did the self-care routine. Just a quick daily fit check. I absolutely love this dress. And ran out the door. I had to go take my car to... It had some lights come on. Check this out. Look at how many cherry blossoms my car has been saving for itself. Good work, car. Apparently it wanted a spa day. It wanted to be fussed over, which I get. While I was waiting for my car to be done, I kind of walked around. Finally. Turned out that we were really close to this Vietnamese restaurant that I've driven past a bunch of times and always said to myself, oh, I really want to try that place, but I've never found the time to do it. So I ate lunch there. While I was waiting for my food to come out, I realized that I could do the entirety of my physical therapy exercises while just sitting there. So I did that. It was pretty tasty. I enjoyed it, but by the time I was wrapping up there, I could feel that my energy was just absolutely failing. I've had a long series of really good energy days lately, which is wonderful, but I guess we're breaking the streak today because I am no longer doing okay. I must take to my bed and sleep a whole bunch. I'm going to have to cancel the visit Versailles weekly play date with her friend Stitch. And I'm sad about that because it means I won't get to see my friends either. But there's so much else going on this week that I think attempting to push through it would be a really unwise idea, and just giving myself some solid recovery time makes the most sense. So I'm calling it. I'm playing the rest day card. And I'm taking today off. I'll see you tomorrow. After a really long nap, I rested for most of the rest of the day. I got up and took the dog for a nice evening walk. And on that walk, I hit 10,000 steps. It turned out that I had walked so much while waiting for my car to be ready that I was just about there. Okay, I'm home. I just got back from 2 hours at the hospital. That was not the plan for today. I was supposed to go in for a tissue expander fill, which normally takes all of 10 or 15 minutes once they get me into that room. However, they said my skin looked really healthy and they could do a double fill today. Oh, maybe I should back up. The tissue expander is the medical device that was implanted under my skin at the time of mastectomy. It starts uninflated and then over time they put in 25 to 50 cc's of saline per week to stretch your skin back out and get it ready for a final implant. I was super behind on getting mine filled because I had that necrosis wound that just would not heal. Finally, it healed, and apparently my skin was just ready. So they filled it. At this point, I don't think you would notice too much, at least with my clothes on. I do not look flat over here anymore because I'm not. Howsoever, we're still trying to figure out and decide what the final size for the reconstructed side should be. So again, the normal fill per week is like 25 to 50 cc's. Last week they gave me 75 and this week they gave me 100. And as I was walking out and looking down, I was like, oh, from this angle, the reconstructed side, or the side that's partially reconstructed, is like notably bigger. And I asked some women as I was in the elevator and leaving the hospital, like, is one side bigger than the other? And all of them were like, the left side's bigger. And I was like, oh no, we weren't trying to go bigger. So I went back to the office and was like, I need to talk to the practitioner again. Her name's Aubrey. She's been incredible, by the way. Everyone I've worked with through this process has just been super knowledgeable and caring and good to me. And I just told the nurse, I just want to have a quick word with her because I think we may have overfilled. I'm going to have to cancel my next 3 fill appointments. And I don't want to be walking around unnecessarily uneven, especially if it's going to overstretch the skin before the surgeon can get to it. And the nurse was like, yes, absolutely, we'll get you back in. However, Aubrey has left for lunch, but we'll get you in on her schedule when she comes back. However, since I was being squeezed in between other patients and she had some appointments that ran long, I was there for a good 2 hours. We did some measurements, we decided that we were going to leave it at the size that it is. Very often, apparently, you need to overfill for a few weeks so that the surgeon just has room to work in there, I guess. That was super fast. We've only been progressing toward like the normal schedule of reconstruction for 2 weeks. And I was told that typically it takes 2 to 3 months to expand your expander to where they'll want it before a surgical exchange. And apparently we did it in 2. So I guess we're pausing here until the surgeon can get me onto his schedule. I've had some really big feelings about this today. Some really big feelings, both good and mostly just like super overwhelmed. I did not expect this. Not only did I not expect this, I don't know what to expect next. So this has created quite the time crunch in my day. I got up, I did the morning routine, I did my workout, which was a leg day. We are now doing enough workouts in a week that I can actually have like leg day, arm day, ab day, all that kind of thing, which is very cool. I had a very nice stretch. I tried some balance poses. And yes, I did the physical therapy. I raised my arm and whatnot. I raced through the shower, and then I was off to the hospital. And now I'm finally back. So I have, oh God, almost exactly an hour to try and get my focus hour in before I need to leave for the farmer's market to redeem my reward card from last week, where I get to buy myself some farmer's market flowers. And also, because we're changing out blueberries for peaches this week, I am going to pick up some peaches from the farmer's market because I can't actually survive a warm month without berries. And as soon as I'm done at the farmer's market, I gotta turn around and head out to Portland for the craft night. I am even meeting one of the women that I made friends with at the Wine and Whimsy event from a couple weeks back at the craft night. So hooray, new friendships. I still have not decided. Every day this week, I've been reminding myself to figure out what craft I'm actually going to do at this event because a lot of my crafts just require so many pieces that they aren't super transportable. I still have no idea. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'll pack something. So I gotta go. I gotta knock out this focus hour, and then we gotta run to the farmer's market. God, I gotta find a craft. I have some markers and stuff. I'll figure out something to do. I'll do something with them. I'm getting on the road. I just spent like $40 on berries. I ate a pint on the way back from the farmer's market. I have another pint here that is going to be gone in the next 15 minutes. This is why you pick everything. Because when someone else picks, I can't afford my blueberry habit. Oh. All right, we're going to the thing. We're going to the thing. So for my craft, I ended up starting the process of laying out my next quarter's bullet journal setup. I love a good bullet journal setup. A huge part of that is just picking the theme and the colors. I realized that I've never done an orange-based color theme for my bullet journal. That's probably because I actually really dislike orange, but I decided that if I went peachy and did kind of a peach theme, I would like it much better. I have peaches on the brain this week. So I worked on that for a little while, and then I actually switched over to creating new self-care cards and reward cards and challenge cards for this challenge. Like I said I was going to do last week. So that was exciting, but mostly the night was very social and it wasn't actually that productive, which is exactly what I thought was going to happen. I also wasn't the only person there who had just brought some markers and called it good. We were at Humdinger Pizza and the pizza was really good. One thing of note that happened, at some point there was a commotion and it turned out that at the Planet Fitness across the street, someone's pet macaw had landed on the sign and a whole bunch of people had sprung into action to rescue that macaw. Someone had driven their Jeep up onto the sidewalk, someone else threw their shoes off and climbed up on top of the Jeep and offered their hand up to the poor, frazzled bird until the bird decided to gently step down off of the sign and onto her hand, and then she ever so slowly, carefully got down off the car. Someone else came along who apparently takes care of birds and is going to look after the bird until the actual owners are found. A lot of information was exchanged between them and the owners of Planet Fitness. So if this is your bird, I guess call the gym? Also, remember that person who was working on Legos earlier? At the end of the night, they revealed it was a Diglett. I am home. It is just before 10 p.m. I am very tired. It was very loud there. I was pretty overstimulating, but I had some good conversations. I met some really nice people. Hi. Did you bring me a nutcracker? Thank you so much, sweetheart. I'm so happy to be home and see your nutcracker. Do you want me to touch it? No, I don't touch it. Okay. Okay, I am going to ask the dog if she wants to do some training. Oh, she's stoked. Okay, we're gonna knock out the training. I'm gonna do my evening stretch, and then I'm gonna throw myself into bed because tomorrow morning we go and see the physical therapist and ask what? Yeah, this is super duper high value. It is probably way too high value for this trick, but I'm too tired to go find something else. So this is what you're working for tonight. Yes, deny. Oh my goodness, yet another day, very heavily dominated by driving to and from and waiting at hospitals. I was very concerned about how disruptive all of these hospital visits were going to be at the beginning of the week, and they have indeed been quite disruptive. I got up close to 7, I got through enough of my morning routine that I'm going to count it, and then I did so little of my self-care routine that I'm not going to count it. Basically just enough not to stink and to not be arrested going out in public. I'm distracted by the fact that I appear to have actual cleavage. Been looking at it all day. It's wild. Anyway, I got in my car and I started driving to see the physical therapist, which in morning traffic on the far side of Portland took well over an hour. When I did get in to see the physical therapist, I didn't even really have to make my case at all. They just started evaluating me and were like, "You're doing really, really well. You don't appear to need physical therapy. Just continue doing what you're doing. So I'm pretty proud of that my own routine appears to be enough physical therapy that they just want me to keep going with. I mean, to paraphrase, they were like, "Oh, do you have a lot of pain?" And I was like, "Only when I do this." And they were like, "The heck is that? Get out of here, scamp. What? If you can do that, you're fine." By then, I was tired and hungry, so I was close enough that I drove myself to my favorite bagel shop in Portland and had myself a nice lunch. Just sat and sort of thought for a while before driving home. And at that point, so much of the day was gone. I spent several hours just trying to catch up on work. I did get a focus hour in. It was pretty satisfying.
Snapdragons.
Hello, I'm a snapdragon.
Around 3:30 or 4, my mother announced that she wanted to go get ice cream, and I was not about to argue with her because that is a brilliant idea, always and forever.
Do you want car food? Yeah, you want car food? Okay, baby, let's go get ice cream.
So we went to see my friends over at Great Northwest Ice Cream Company. Had some delicious ice creams. The dog had her special tiny pop cup cone, and before we left, I got her a second one because that is the type of person that I am. I think that is obvious from these videos. When we got back, I was stained and sticky. I had spilled tea on me. I'm so distracted. Look at that. What the hell? What the hell is this? It's almost like I have a real boob. Insane! What was I saying? Right. When I got back, I was stained and sticky. I had spilled some tea at myself at the bagel shop, so there's like stains on my nice white top. Gonna really have a challenge laundering that. And I had dripped chocolate ice cream on my right leg and only partially got it out of the legging. So I felt a little bit self-conscious recording today's workout. I don't think it's the sort of thing you would notice if I didn't point it out to you, but here I am pointing it out to you. Look at them titties. I was taking a quick break after my workout in order to laminate the self-care reward and new challenge cards that I made last night at the craft night when it was decided that we were going to go on a family walk. And that got me within about 2,000 steps of the goal. So when we got back, I still had work to catch up on. I did manage to fit in a stretch. There's no way we're getting to 2 stretches today. It's just not happening. I finally wrapped up trying to catch up on work around 9 p.m. I know that's not good, but it's just the way my week has panned out. I took myself for a short walk just as the sun was setting to get in those final steps. So we did finally make that 10K step goal. It is almost 10 p.m. and I am just about to have dinner. Today was yet another step forward in this process. The closure of physical therapy, at least for now. I am kind of over going places for a little while. Tomorrow, I don't think there's anything out of the house on the schedule, and I am very relieved for that. It's been too many things, and most of them were not fun, like the craft night. I'm really looking forward to next week, which is just so much less burdened with appointments. But we're gonna get through this week. We're gonna finish strong. Very much looking forward to peach picking on the weekend. Okay, I'm gonna go eat some dinner and pass out. See you tomorrow.
Do you like strawberry tops?
So the very first part of teaching a dog a trick generally involves luring the dog into the positions that you want, usually using treats. And then you fade out the treats, you fade out the lure, and then you're left with the trick that you want. However, in this case, I was noticing that she thought the trick was targeting, that she was supposed to point her nose at the target, which is my hand going back and forth. That's okay for the early stages, but I was really trying to help her understand that the trick is the motion of her head, not where she's pointing her nose. So I started varying how I got her to do this motion, adding more hands, changing the shapes of the hands I was making, just generally trying to provide her with clues that the trick that I wanted was the shake of her head. I woke up at 7 a.m. this morning, and I said no, this far and no farther, and then I went back to bed until 8:30 a.m., and it felt real good. I did the morning routine and rolled directly into today's workout. Today was an ab day. It was a really good workout. I did a fairly gentle stretch this morning, and I didn't have to do any physical therapy. Yes, I did the focus hour. I got some work done. I decided I needed to go to the grocery store, and I decided that I, for some reason, was going to walk there, even though it was like 90 degrees out. So I slathered myself in sunblock and I walked there, and it wasn't too bad. It was a little harsh, but not too bad. While I was there, I just picked up a few items and put them in my purse on the way out, and I bought a quarter of a watermelon and I ate it on the way home and got watermelon juice absolutely everywhere. It's all down me. But that's what summer is for. That is what summer is for. I am enjoying a real quiet, low-key day where I don't have to drive anywhere. I'm about to do training with the dog. I will knock out my stretch well before bedtime. It's amazing how much easier these challenges are to do when you don't have to be on the other side of the universe for half the day. Because we're doing so good today, I think we're going to pull a challenge card. All right, ready? Challenge card. Okay, this is one of the new ones. I got pull 3, pick 1. 1, 2, 3. The first one is deep focus. This is an additional hour of focus time. Our second option is big stretch. This is an additional 20 minutes of stretching. And our third one, this one is go higher. Increase the incline on the walking pad for a total of 60 minutes. It doesn't have to be consecutive. I need to pick one of these 3, return the other 2 to the deck, and then reshuffle the whole thing. Just based on time, this stretch is going to be the easiest one. I'm really having to think about this. I am leaning toward go higher, the 60 minutes of walking on the walking pad with an incline. I don't know why, that just feels right to me. I don't know if we'll get it entirely done today, but we can work on it. I'm going to put the other 2 back in the deck and give it a shuffle. Did you catch that? Let me slow it down for you. I'm not moving my hands, but she is shaking her head. I got a couple more like this in the rest of the session. She's starting to get it.
Yes, that was very good. Okay, all done. Good work.
We tried something new today. After training, Versailles really wanted to go outside, but I wanted to stretch, so we tried to combine the activities. I really wanted to like this, but in actuality, it was super hot and sweaty out. The ground was very hard. I kept locating really painful tiny rocks with my butt, and the ground was just very uneven, which was not great for balance poses. But we somehow made it for 20 minutes.
Today was supposed to be peach picking, only when we woke up and we checked the orchard's website out of an abundance of caution, I'm glad we did, because their website said they decided to close for the day for extra ripening. So instead, I am at the blueberry farm, and look who's here with me. I've wanted to bring her every time I've come, except that I wasn't allowed to pick the blueberry bucket up with anything but my right hand, and I couldn't handle her leash with anything but the right hand, and it felt like too much. But since I'm cleared now, she can come.
Versailles, why are you eating grass? A good girl? Yeah, you can pick some blueberries? Yay, blueberries! Versailles, get your head out of there. If you want, here, I'll give you one. Yeah, good girl. Versailles? Why grass?
You don't want to pick anymore? Is it too hot for my baby? Is it too hot? Okay, I'll take you home. I was a little bit surprised, but Versailles was not into it. She wanted to go home. I only picked about 3 pounds before she wanted to go home. I think it's because on the way in, the farm dogs barked at her. Isn't that right, baby? They barked at you. And she didn't feel very welcome there. And then the sun came out unexpectedly right after we arrived, and she was like, "It's hot and I don't feel welcome here. We're done, Mom." I also made the terrible discovery that my favorite blueberry farm has decided to close tomorrow. They always close early in the season. The farmer and his wife are technically retired, so they just open for a month to the public, I guess for funsies, but then by the end of July, they're always pretty tired of dealing with the public, and that's pretty valid. But it does mean I will have to go to a blueberry farm I don't like quite as much, or that's the end of blueberry season for me. and I just don't know if I'm ready. So much has been taken from me this year. You can't take blueberries yet. So we came home and I rolled out the yoga mat. This started really well. It was a cardio day, fitness marshal, dance workout, all things I love. I was having a really good time. But about 15 minutes in, I don't know what happened. Everything was feeling good, everything was feeling fine. And then very suddenly, one of the sutures in my chest twinged and pulled, and it felt so bad, and it was so sore for so long afterward. It kind of scared me. It made me not want to do any more of it. I dialed back the intensity immediately. I was just sort of step touching through big chunks of it. But even that much, I found myself, I was just stopping and pacing, just feeling anxious about feeling that pain again. It was really bad. So I ended up stopping the workout a little bit early, and then I just kind of had to sit and process for a while before I could get myself to move on to the stretch. Honestly, I've been feeling a lot of big feelings this week. It feels like a lot of things are catching up to me. The stretch was a dynamic stretch, a lot of nerve flossing, a lot of moving through different positions, no sitting in static stretches. I tried this new thing. It was a high pigeon pose on a chair. It really does work into the hips. It was pretty good. Probably add that to my stretch rotation. The self care routine did help a fair bit to calm me down, but I was still just feeling kind of sad. I don't love feeling this way, and I can't even tell you exactly how it is that I am feeling. I'm just not feeling good. I'm not feeling settled. I decided to treat myself and I went and got some Chinese food for lunch. And while I was eating that, a friend of mine contacted me on Discord and we watched a whole bunch of episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So that was great. In fact, I think we may watch another episode very shortly here. After about 3 episodes, I decided that I had the mental space to try and do my focus hour. I got about 10 or 15 minutes into that before I got a notice that Versailles' playdate was ready for the day. So I took her outside to enjoy a good romp. We are now post playdate bath, and at this point, I'm just not sure what else is going to be accomplished today. I am just feeling kind of low. Not energy wise, which is unusual. Usually, energy is the first thing to go. Just emotionally, I don't know. I don't know why. Just that mega twinge this morning was just sort of it for me. I feel like a lot of things have just happened to me, been done to me. I have endured a lot, and it's really not yet behind me. Having a completely filled expander is also uncomfortable in new and different ways. It's less pokey. The tissue expander is much less pokey than it used to be, but now it's a little bit heavy and it puts a lot of weight on those sutures, and the sutures are not comfortable. So anyway, I am going to give this damp dog some practice time, and then we'll see what else happens tonight. Oh, you know what? It is the first of a new month, which means I have a special start of the month routine that I need to go through. So first, I'm going to go through my bathroom and I am going to collect all of my silicone face scrubbers. It is very likely that you have some of these in your own bathroom and they have never been sanitized because they live in your shower and they get soap on them and they get rinsed frequently. Why would they need to be washed? I hear you. But that's a very wet environment. Those things are supposed to be boiled once a month. So that is start of the month. Thing number 1, boil all your silicone face scrubbers or body scrubbers. Whatever scrubbers you have, boil them. Next, if you use contacts like me, did you know that contact cases are only meant to be used for a single month? You might be saying, oh, that's a lot of plastic to throw out every year when it's still perfectly good. Fine, I hear you. I would generally agree, but we don't mess around with our vision. You can get like 3 years worth of contact cases off Amazon for maybe $15. Switch that thing out. Don't you play with your vision. If your vision goes, you never get it back. Some medical items are disposable for a reason. Third item, if you have an African net scrubber in your shower like I do, take it out, put it in the wash. I know, just like the face scrubbers and any other reusable item in the shower, you could think that it does not need washing because it's in with the water and the soap all the time, but afterwards it's just sitting there wet. It will eventually start to grow bacteria. If you read the instructions on these things when you purchase them, they will say, wash them once a month. You can use a washing machine. You should use a washing machine. Just throw it in there. Don't think about it. Throw it in there. One final thing. On the first of the month, I dye my eyelashes. This is a very subtle effect, but I do not care for wearing mascara. I absolutely hate wearing fake eyelashes. So I use a semi-permanent dye on my eyelashes once a month. I should do it twice a month. I get to it once a month. It doesn't give you lashes quite as big as falsies. Nothing's going to do that but falsies because real eyelashes don't do that. But it does give you something approaching a mascara look, and you don't have to worry about it. You just roll out of bed like that all the time after that. It's one of those low effort, high impact things. Baby! Do you have a nutcracker? Wow! Oh, honey, is that your nutcracker? Oh my goodness, it's so good. Thank you for showing us. Yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you. I know I'm not allowed to touch it. Yeah. Would you like to train? Yeah, you would like to do some training? Okay, let's get set up for training.
Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes! Yes, yes, yes! Yes, yes, yes! Yes, yes, yes! Good girl! Alright, all done. Good work. That was good work.
Okay, I just finished the Go Higher challenge card, the 60 minutes of incline treadmill. I did most of it while watching the 4th episode of Buffy for today. Adding that incline actually did add quite a bit of challenge. I am so sweaty. But that's done, which means we get to pull a self-care or a reward card, and I am picking a reward card. There's new stuff in this deck, so let's see what I get. I got Treat Yourself. This lets me get any kind of sweet treat that I want. It's past 9 tonight. I don't think I'll redeem it tonight, but probably tomorrow. Treat yourself. Oh, and with all that treadmilling, we are way past 10,000 steps for the day. We have made it to Sunday, and I am worn out. I keep asking myself, what did I even do this week? When I check my calendar and I see I went to that crafting event this week, I went to the hospital twice and had 2 major milestones. I can't believe it. That feels so long ago. It feels like I have just been working so hard at existing. And also like there just hasn't been enough time in the day, any day, even if they weren't days that had big appointments in them. I think part of the crowding is just emotional, that a lot of things are coming up for me this week. There's just a lot of processing that needs doing. I think while I'm in this space, I need to make more space for just sitting and journaling. This vlogging actually helps some, but it's not a full replacement for that. I've also had days this week where I didn't have as much enthusiasm as I usually do for being perceived. I didn't necessarily want to be on camera. I didn't want to explain myself and what I'm feeling. But I also think there's just not a lot of content like this out there. I see a lot of short form stuff. I see a lot of stuff about the actual treatment and how awful it is. But the process of getting back on your feet afterward, I just haven't found much of a community about that. So I keep doing it. I keep doing it, even knowing that right now I probably have, 5 viewers who are like really into it and watching every single one, in the hopes that someday someone out there will finish up their treatment and find this and say, she did it. I really hope that's the story that we're able to tell. Anyway, today is class day for Versailles. Most of the day is going to be dominated by, once again, driving all the way out to Gresham, roughly the hour and a half of her class, and then driving home. I have indeed done the morning routine. I did the self-care routine. I did the stretch after the self-care routine. That's pretty rare for me, but I was just feeling so low and jangled. I kind of needed the shower and some, petting of my face with various skincare things to try and reset my nervous system just a little bit before I did the stretch. And that worked enough. I will admit I stopped about 2 minutes early on my 20-minute stretch because I saw a whole family of raccoons running by out the window, and I immediately just leapt up and ran outside to try and get some pictures of them. I saw this family of raccoons when the kids were like yay big, just tiny little babies. And now they're like competent young adults, but they're still with their mom. They're still learning some things. Obviously, I was not able to get any close ups because they are wild animals, but hopefully something came out and you get to see them too. So I have just about exactly an hour before I need to get on the road. So I am going to use that hour to do my focus hour, and then I am going to run out the door with the dog. I'll check back in with you after class. The first part of class was actually super difficult because there was an adoption event in the building and there were a bunch of distressed dogs vocalizing nearby, and Versailles found this really upsetting and distracting and had a really hard time focusing. She spent at least the first 45 minutes just trying to make sure everyone was okay. She did eventually recover enough to do a few fun tricks, but it was definitely a much more stressful class time than we usually have. As if the universe was making up for the scary adoption event, we did find a balloon that had been left behind in the classroom. This was a rocky one, but we made it through. Let's talk about next week. This is the look ahead for the next 4 weeks of this challenge. In week 7, we'll be hitting the halfway point. I can't believe we're already almost there. But let's take a closer look at week 6. I am continuing that 7:30 a.m. wake up time goal for one more week before we move to the final 7 a.m. goal. As much as I would like to have my day be the shape that I want it to be, I'm also really conscious that sleep is super, super important to healing, so I'm trying to move really slow with any changes to it. There's a big change with the stretching routine. I'm going from 2 20-minute stretches 2 hours apart to just 40 minutes anywhere throughout the day because I want greater flexibility to maybe do 30 minutes right after my workout and then say just 10 gentle minutes before bed, or vice versa, whatever feels good during the day. We are creeping up those workout goals, just 5 extra minutes, so we're going to have 5 35-minute workouts throughout the week. Creeping up those step goals, instead of 4 10K step days throughout the week, we're going to have 5 10K step days throughout the week. This says blueberries, it might be peach picking. There's gonna be some kind of fruit acquisition during the week. I have not seen a movie in an actual theater since I think the first Wicked with Cynthia and Ariana, and the time before that was the Barbie movie, so I'm not a big cinema goer, especially not since COVID. However, there has been such a fuss about this Odyssey movie that I decided that I would see it before it leaves theaters, and I've heard that it is best seen in IMAX, which is the format that it was filmed for. So I have actually bit the bullet and spent the money and gotten myself IMAX theater tickets to see the Odyssey next week. Garlic Festival. There is a garlic festival pretty close to my parents' house that I have seen the signs for ever since I was a small child, every single year, but I've never actually been. I tried to go last year, but when I pulled into the parking lot, they told me that I could not bring my dog in, so I just turned around and went home because there was no way I was leaving her in the car. Apparently that rule had recently changed because the internet had told me it was okay to bring her, but apparently it no longer was. But this time I will be prepared. I will know I can't bring her with me, which sucks, but I will finally be able to say that I have been to the Garlic Festival. As for the dog, we are going to work on improving her backup. Now, she does know how to back up, but she does not like it. Similarly to hold, she doesn't see why it ought to be a thing. The correct place to be is as close to mommy as possible, preferably in her lap. So if there are treats on offer, she will take 1 or 2 steps back. She'll take more if I am walking toward her, but if you ask her to actually just back up more than 1 or 2 steps, she starts to cheat. Her hind end gets really wobbly. She starts curving around. She starts trying to find ways to reduce the distance that she is actually backing up while still taking steps. So we're going to see what we can do to clean that up next week. Thank you so much for being with me this week. I hope your week has been beautiful and healing and productive, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Oh, if you made it this far, thank you so much. And if you're not already, maybe subscribe, maybe remember to hit like. Leave me a comment. I love comments. See you next week.